Joined today by Coach Darcy, and we are here to guide you through the ins and outs of a lifestyle that's transformed not just our lives, but the lives of countless women navigating the waves of perimenopause and menopause. Whether you're here to shed weight, understand your body better, or simply find a community that gets it, you're in the right place. So sit back and enjoy the next few minutes as we tackle the hot issues of today. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
How are you, Coach?
It's a really good morning.
It's a really good day today.
Yeah, it is.
Oh my gosh. How is everybody?
I hope everyone's doing really well.
I feel like we're really loud.
Well, you turned your volume up.
I like it up loud because I can read your mind and I know when not to talk, because I can see you.
You can see me now. And we have to remember that people can see us this time.
Holy cow, you're not even joking. Like this is not a podcast recording studio.
No.
People can see us. Hey, everybody.
Hello. Hey, when you jump on here, say hello, please, and follow, and share this video out. We are still here. This is Coach's Corner. It's Tuesday at 11:01. We're ready to share. We are on time. We're normally on time. We have a little flops sometimes.
Well, we had a lot of flops with our sound, and thankfully our amazing listeners checked us. They got us. Yes. Now we need to know, everyone, are we sounding okay?
Do we sound great?
Because you were the one that caught the issue, because I have this phobia. I do not like to go re-listen to our podcast I don't. I'm like out of sight, out of mind. I do not want to hear my voice. I sound not like what I think I sound, and so I won't do it. You are brave, and you do it, and you're like, Monica, we got a problem.
This helps us grow. I'm just saying this helps us.
Be nice about it, though.
Hello. Look at all these people saying hello. We have some feedback. Awesome.
We have feedback?
No, feedback from them, our viewers.
I'm so nervous. Because we dipped a lot of money into our new sound, you know?
We did.
And so we're about ready to go bankrupt but at least we sound good. But
we found the right microphone, and we have.
See them? Should we show everybody?
Well, yeah, they're the same. Samesies. Yeah. This is what, I'm used to with church and everything.
Because you're a singer.
I am a singer.
Yeah.
But do you want to
amazing.
Do you want to share what's happening?
Which kind of sharing
do
you
today?
Want to do?
Not the one that we talked about before.
Okay. All right.
Where you assumed.
Because we're on video, right?
Yes, we are on video.
Okay. Am I supposed to share?
Well, yeah, because then I have my surprise.
Okay, well, you didn't tell me. So she's taking her life in her hand, because she's like, in our show notes, she's like, Monica, I got a surprise. Well, you don't do that to the boss, and you don't do that unless the boss really trusts you, which I completely and totally trust you.
I feel like you kind of doubted that. You doubted that.
When you said, Monica, I have a surprise, I'm like,
but then you assumed that there was some sort of other thing that I would have.
I have no idea. Literally, I have no idea, but I am super excited. Today's the day. We have been building this up for a long time. People have asked us, hey, when are you going to do a podcast? We're getting a lot out of these lives, and the lives are just silly. We're just here silliness. Content, we have a lot. We have 7 years under our belt, right? Of experience, and we feel like we can, help a lot of people. And so they're like, why don't you do a podcast? No. We're busy with our clients. No, we are clients. And yeah, we still are. But it's official. Today was launch day. We did a soft launch.
I'm going to regret this later. Yay!
I feel like I should have been more prepared. I should have had confetti over here. Oh,
did you get some? Because I have a hot mess over here now.
You're going to have to get the Roomba out.
It is well worth this, though. Let's celebrate. This was on our vision board.
It was. Totally.
And we talked about it. And we're like, someday this will happen.
Totally.
And Monica was on it today. She was like, we're going to do it now.
It's the confidence. It's the confidence that our listeners gave us because they couldn't hear us. And it's still, I need to get my Roomba out over here. I feel like it's over here. It's so live because I feel like I can hear you like you're right next to me.
I was giggling because it was all in my coffee.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And I didn't even throw it yet.
Oh, that's hilarious. I love it.
Yes.
So in our links, and wherever you're watching us right now, we put the links. You find us on any of your, I mean, we are in like 20 different podcasts. I didn't even know there was 20 different podcasts.
Is there really? I know
launchers.
Of like 3.
I know. Apple, Spotify, and our website. We are live right now on our website.
Nice.
Actually, we're not live right now. It would be a podcast that would be live. That is not live. That is pre-recorded. But we're on our website, kmhealthcoaching.org.
Yes.
And while you're there, should we smile? Are you taking a picture of
I'm taking a picture of my mess.
Oh.
You go ahead.
Okay. I felt like I needed to smile.
You might. I mean, you can.
So yeah, we are live. We're not live. We are live now actually we're live on about 10 different platforms.
That's
so
exciting.
We have our Instagram people. We have our Facebook. We are live on YouTube. But our podcast is on all of the podcast listening stations and however you listen to your podcast. So make sure what would really help us, and Darcy knows a little bit more about this than I do, but with the algorithm, but what really, really helps us is when you go over, you click subscribe, and then you are notified when we have a new release, which will be weekly, by the way.
Yes.
And also, if you
That's
leave us a comment. Now, Darcy would specifically like to ask you to leave nice comments, but
we can handle it. We can handle the
audience.
negativity that and opinions of others. We understand other people have other opinions.
We get it. Totally get it.
We get it.
Especially in my audience. I got some crazy people in my audience.
Yes, you do. I have nice people. But I think Spotify for Android, I have no idea.
Yeah. You have to listen to, unfortunately, you got to listen to commercials if you get it free, but who cares about commercials, right?
Yeah.
So Spotify is free. Apple is free. You can also subscribe over on YouTube. YouTube is free and you'll be notified. That is a podcast over there. We are live on WordPress. I mean, there's like 20 different ones. It took me forever.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you remember, Coach, what our first topic? We have 2 shows that are put on right now.
Yes.
And we're getting ready to record our next one, which will be March 5th. But no, 27th. Oh gosh.
We're going to record and we're going to record again.
Yeah. You know what? I joked with my husband because we have the office bird Winston, as you have heard. Well, that was not going over very well in the podcast recording studio because he decided to wake up every show. So this show, we were recording on Sunday. He wakes up and I'm like, all right, Brian, get your keys. We're going to Menards. So I'm getting a French door put in this week.
That's exciting.
So we will no longer be visited by the office bird Winston. I'm so sorry.
He's going to whistle louder, but
I can see him on the outside of those windows. Help!
Let me in. I want you to say something.
So now all we need is one of those neon lights on the outside of my home office here saying,
I'm
on
looking
air.
at it.
On air.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Totally funny.
Yeah. I'm going to need that for the summertime because when it comes summertime, everybody's home.
Here.
So
don't bother Mom. I'll bribe you.
No.
I remember bribing my kids.
Oh, I bribe all the time. I do.
I will give you a piece of candy. If you, the keto coach speaking, right?
Yeah.
So go follow. And if you wouldn't mind, share it with your family and friends and help us with the algorithm. It is really, really hard to get a podcast started. So
I think also it also tells how many people are listening to it. So that is helpful. Yeah. So if go and listen to the podcast, share it out, leave us a feedback, leave us a review, a star, leave us, how many star review. I think you can do that as well. I know that especially for podcasts, because that's what I listen to use. That's what I use. So anyway.
Awesome. What are we talking about today, Coach?
So we have a great topic today. I like it because we struggle as coaches. We still struggle with this. We go through the seasons of our journey, and yet we still have the battle of the mind. that is the biggest, probably one of the biggest struggles and walls to leap over.
Even over calories, I'd say.
I do. I really do, because you can get to this the stage in life that we're in our maintenance world,
Mhm.
and if we let our guard down, there's the things that sneak in, like body dysmorphia, because we forget like all of the things that we went through because of how our body's feeling that
Mhm.
day. We go through self-doubt, imposter syndrome, all these things, and those are usually triggered by past trauma,
Mhm.
things that we used to carry all the time and still kind of
Yeah.
there, battled with. What are some other things that would be categorized under the battle of the mind?
Yeah, so that's a great question, and trauma is a really really good one, and that's probably one of the biggest ones that I'm going to say this on every one of them because these are, I mean, we pretty much took it from the client files, right, including our own
Yes.
journey. But trauma
Yes.
is a big one. That is one that is
Yeah.
really really underestimated, and that is where we really wholeheartedly say, hey, link your nutritionist, your health coach with a counselor because they will help you maneuver through that trauma, and go through some counseling and go through some, because you got to reopen some wounds when you do that. And
Yeah.
and when you reopen those wounds, sometimes you reopen the calories, right? And so make sure that your counselor links with your nutritionist and supports your nutritionist. Otherwise, you could have a hot mess, of which we have had in the past.
Yes.
So trauma is a big one, but a lot of what my clients tell me, and in fact it was yesterday that I had probably 3 conversations like this of, well, I've already failed in the past. I've already tried all of this in the past. I've failed in the past. Why would this time be different? That's one of the biggest frustrations we have as a coach because not only have we learned the science behind the lifestyle that we teach, which is the low carb ketogenic lifestyle, but we have learned the mental side as well and the emotional side as well. And when you go into this lane on the highway of I've never been able to get past this certain weight. I've always regained, the weight after this time. Why is this time differently? You have already prophesied over your journey, if I might use
Yeah.
that word. I don't know if that's a religious word or what, but it's the same meaning. You've already foreshadowed what's going to happen in your journey. What's that saying? If you say you can't, you're right? When you
Hmm.
get that negative attitude and when you say, you know what, I've failed in the past, I'm going to fail again, you're right. You will,
Yeah.
because you
Yeah.
will succumb to that self-fulfilled prophecy. So that's one of the
Right.
ones that stick out really clearly to me. Do you have any that stick out to you when you're working with your clients?
So when I like the have the vision of being pushed into a corner
Mm.
enough with like having all of these thoughts
Mm-hmm.
entering your mind, especially in social circumstances. That's where the fear of missing out, or FOMO, is what
Oh.
that's the word that I like to think of. You have a lot of like the trauma that we're talking about, the past failures that we're talking about. When those start to speak up in a social circumstance, you start to feel pressured. You start to build up this anxiety. You start to feel like, oh, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. I want to, well, why can't I join in on this? Why do I have to? You start to ask these
Mm-hmm.
questions, and then you get yourself in a corner where you feel like you're
Mm-hmm.
pinned. And then you can either make two decisions. You're either going to give in, or you're going to use the tools that you're taught to be able to get out of that corner.
Yeah.
So, that is kind of like the FOMO of
Yeah.
things.
And
You don't
sometimes,
want to miss out, and it's loud in your
yeah.
head.
And sometimes it's in the head, but then sometimes it really is pressure from your family because
Yeah.
for every journey that well, I'm not going to say everyone, but for many of my clients, there are people in their life who want to sabotage. So it can be
Hmm.
real. It could be a fear of missing out, and the sadness of that, but it also could be real because you could have some enablers in your life who don't want you to succeed. And so
Yeah.
fear of missing out is a real one. Absolutely. Um, I got to talk about the bad. I mean, I'm always the negative Nelly in our coaching relationship. And so I'm going to talk about this one and then I'm going to give you a happy one. Okay. So
Okay.
I'm going to talk about the epidemic and I'm going to say epidemic because I don't think it's a pandemic. I think it's an epidemic of convenience and of laziness.
Yeah.
It is a reality because we are so addicted. And I wish I had one on my desk right now. I don't, because I try to keep them out of my life. But at the prepackaged items, the prepackaged quick drive-through scenarios where I don't want to work. I don't want to meal prep. I don't want to think about it. Let me tell you something. If you're on this journey and you think, keto is so overwhelming and a new lifestyle is overwhelming, you don't have to pre-plan your meals. You can be like me. Now, we've got two opposite ends here. You've got a really, I'm pointing at you. You've got a really, really prepared coach who's running a family. She's the CEO of her household. She's running a family and she does a lot of meal prep. On this side of the screen, you've got the boring coach who is preferring simple food. So if you know that there's a propensity to be lazy in your keto journey and to let that get in your mind of, well, I don't have time to meal prep, you're not off the hook. Because if you are that person, aka me, I am okay with boring food because I know that there is so many things out there. I know I can go prepare this beautiful keto cheesecake that has no sugar in it, that has no carbs in it, that is the most delicious thing in the world. I know it's out there. I know I can do it. I choose not to because, well, I coach 80 hours a week and I'm just too tired. And my safety net is simplicity. So laziness truly can be a battlefield of the mind. It can be, I just can't do enough. But let me tell you, honey and mister, you don't have to be that person. You can be okay being a simple person. So you can get rid of that little excuse and the little battlefield of the mind and say, if I ever want to. Now, what I do, because I'm a simple, I'd like to know in our audience, who are the simple people and who are the planners? Who are you? Put a little comment in the comment wherever you are watching us from. Are you a simpleton or are you a beautiful CEO like Coach Darcy that meal preps?
I don't. Can I just be honest though?
Yes,
I have those days where I don't meal prep. We have our basic go-to meals that, yes, it takes time to plan it out and to pull the meat out of the freezer. But then being able to be prepared to have, there is always those days where you don't know what to cook. You don't feel like anything. You always have, did I call it the Y2K pantry?
Yeah, you did. You did.
I
Our
did.
mom taught us well.
Yes, we did. Yeah, you have the Y2K pantry. So it's always stocked with something that you can easily pull out that might be a canned item, but it is not going off plan.
Yeah.
So that is what I do. I have
kids.
I'm in middle of the road. I have my backup plan. I also have boys that are not keto.
Right.
They have this idea of, oh, keto is being healthy and we're not healthy.
Right.
So someday I'll get them.
You will.
But in the meantime, we're educating them.
The French word, educating.
Educating. with what is healthy and what's not. We let them know what they're eating is not a healthy choice. So they know that. Yeah. But I'm also remembering how my childhood was with that. Some things just were passed on, and then
we've got
didn't eat
in
well.
Our comments. We've got some planners in here. We've got some planners and simple. Yeah. We've got a simpleton. Just doggone this dog. We've got some simple ones. I love being simple, and just because I know I've got the power, and I'm a little bit of a control freak. Our pastor was talking to me. I don't know how he gets his sermons, but apparently he sneaks into my email and my notes. He sneaks and he knows exactly. And he was speaking to me about being, a control freak. That is me. But I know that I can control what I eat. And if sometimes, you can even be you can branch out without going outside the simple. If I get really bored with my steak and my broccoli, I'll throw in some berries. That's enough for me to say, all right, that's kind of sweet. I'll pull out some Lily's chocolate chips. That's just enough. I don't have to make that into this beautiful cookie. So you can
Yeah.
still be a simpleton as well as eating yummy. You don't have to be boring, right? So
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
one of our battlefields. So I told you I would give you a nice one. In our list here, do you see any nice ones left? Take your pick. Take your pick. Whichever one.
I mean,
Do you want to talk about the red dog?
yeah, because I was like, the red dog's not
He's
really
not
a
nice.
positive
He's not
thing.
nice.
But we talk about the red dog and the blue dog. In other words, if you aren't familiar with our program or have ever been through this, we are talking like our angel and the demon on the shoulder, that whole stereotype of that, where you have the negative things speaking life into you and doing the wrong things. And then you have like the opposite end of that. So we teach a lot about the red dog and the blue dog. So when a client is going through a certain emotion that is negative, we then encourage them to then turn over that page and to find the number that links the one that counters that word. So, if you go in with anxiousness, I don't think that was one of the words because it wasn't one of those.
It should be. So, I mean, let's throw that one out there. Let's say, gosh, I've got this red dog here, and I'm just anxious.
Saying that I'm anxious.
Just anxious today. What do I do? Yeah. What is the blue dog over here saying? The blue dog over here.
That's a good question.
Well,
the trust. No, there's another.
The blue dog saying, no, you actually got this.
Yeah.
The blue dog saying, why don't you do a breathing exercise that says, you know what? Calm down a little bit. Let's think about what is truth. Box breathing, right? You got a book there?
Yeah, I do. It just reminds me of one of the books you said to pull out in my recent book that I'm reading. And this links to what we're talking about. This is Stop Overthinking. Okay. And it's talking about the root of overthinking and what the root of overthinking can then push you towards. And that's where, like, I love the picture because it depicts like that busyness makes you feel like what the red dog is doing to your mind, and you get overwhelmed. You get like in that corner picture that I shared earlier, like not picture, but scenario, you feel like you're shoved into a corner when the red dog is speaking to you because deep down inside that there is something that you shouldn't be thinking, and it's exactly what the red dog's saying to you. So then you're like letting that red dog speak louder than the blue dog. And so then you start to panic, and that's where that anxiety starts to come from.
And we teach our clients little tricks and tips on how to reverse that thinking, because the red dog is so sneaky. He is so powerful. He knows exactly your thoughts. He doesn't know what you're saying out loud, but he knows your thoughts, and he knows your weaknesses, and he knows exactly how to get you off track. And so we teach our clients, how do you reverse that? So you kind of jumped ahead a little bit because no, it's good because we need to go to a commercial. But before we do, we're going to have a segment every week, if I remember this. What's your coach reading today? And it may be the same book because it takes me a long time. Okay. And so that was really cool that you brought that book out there. So
hey, but does that mean that we have to read a new book every week?
We could do the same book. This book here that I'm bringing, look how big it is. Like, I'm going to be in this a couple of.
This has taken me a while, and it's not as thick.
Of weeks. And so what we're going to do is what we're going to do every week that we remember is we're going to say, what's your coach reading today? And then we're going to have our coach read a segment, just a little sentence out of it that you have highlighted. So I'm a highlighter. So my guess is that you can open your book and you're going to see something that you have highlighted. So I'll start just because I made this up, right?
Okay. Right now.
Yeah. So what's your coach reading this week? And then we're going to put it in the comments so that you can go grab it. Okay. This is what this is what I'm reading. Change your diet, change your mind. This woman walked me through my food addiction certification licensing. She was incredible. She's one of the major professors there. Incredible book. A powerful plan to improve your mood, overcome anxiety, and protect your memory for a lifetime of mental health. So this is connecting sugar to mental health. I'm going to just read the first thing that I underlined, which is kind of depressing.
We can end with mine then.
Okay. All right. So nearly 1 billion people are living with a mental health disorder, including 1 in 5 of the world's children and adolescents. Depression and anxiety alone cost the global economy nearly $3 billion a day. Huge, huge book. I'm going to post it right here. This is what I'm reading. This is what this coach is reading. What are you reading, coach?
Okay. So talked about overthinking. Stop overthinking is not that, but this part of the book is talking about 4A techniques that you can do to stop overthinking that you can apply. And so I'm going to skip a couple of the A's. If you can't avoid a stressor, ask what you can do to change it. If your answer is not much, then you might need to go one step further and accept it.
Boom.
So
Huge.
there's that.
Huge.
It's a really great book. Since we did life coaching certifications, like that has a lot to do.
Type it in the comments for our, I was going to say readers, but they're not reading us. They're listening.
I can't.
Huh?
I'll hop over here.
Oh, or you've got a different device there. Well, you've got time because we're going to go to a commercial and then we're going to be back and we're going to close this show up and talk about the last 3 and what we can do to stop the battle of the mind. Are you tired of those pounds that just won't come off? Are you ready for a real change? Dive into KM Health Coaching's signature weight loss program and start transforming your relationship with food and your body today. In just 3 months, you can shed those stubborn pounds and break free from emotional eating. With personalized coaching, a supportive community, and our breakthrough technology, you're set for success. Imagine weekly sessions tailored just for you, a group system where you can grow together, and technology that tracks every triumph. It's all here at KM Health Coaching. Now, exclusively for Beyond the Scale listeners, use code Beyond the Scale for $25 off. Start your journey to healing and happiness right now. Visit us, use the code Beyond the Scale, and embark on your wellness journey with KM Health Coaching's signature weight loss program. Your new beginning starts right now. Oh.
I'm still writing.
Still writing. Well, let's wrap up this show today. We're going to talk about 2 things. What can you do? So we've listed the problems, the battlefield of the mind, the past failures that we've had, the fear of missing out, laziness, the things that the red dog says to us along our journey. I didn't mention chemical food addiction as well as processed food addiction. Those things really, really mess with your mind. They mess with your journey and they really take you off course. We see about 3-4 crashes every week just by the processed food addiction alone, right? So those are the troubles. Those are the things that keep us from being successful in our weight loss journey. But there's 2 things that we're gonna that we're gonna talk about that can reverse those things, that can help you through them. Darcy's gonna talk about the habits, and then I'm gonna talk about physically what happens to you when you do the things, and I'll talk about that. So Darcy, talk to us a little bit about our favorite man in the world, James Clear.
Yes. James Clear has written this book, not created it. He wrote this book, Atomic Habits. If you don't have it, and if you haven't read it, or if you have it and you haven't read it for a while, then you need to do all of that. You need to read it, reread it, read it. If you don't like to read, there's a keynote book that is much shorter and just takes the keynotes. You miss out on the stories that he tells through that, but it gives you a lot of great insight into what his book is about. But we take those habits and sorry, I have a piece of hair that now I can't focus, that you can go in and you can go and apply it, go into your life, kind of go overview what you are doing in your life, seeing what things are preventing you from doing something, write it out, and then you can do this habit tracker. I like this to be able to get yourself going. We think about, he talks about 1%, doing something 1%, and that 1% is going to give you more of a realization and time, and not make you feel anxious to accomplish something. So if you want one habit to be changed, you need to work on that one habit versus making a giant list of everything that's wrong with you and that you want to change.
One thing at a time.
One thing at a time. But that is one thing that we have our clients read and go through and practice. And that, which brings me to journaling, because I believe he talks about journaling and getting it out of your head. And that is a really important thing in my opinion, as a coach, the importance of getting all of the jumbled mess that looks like this out of your head onto a piece of paper. So then you're not only getting it out of your head, but you're collecting data on yourself.
So funny that you say that, because literally in one of my sessions, I didn't have that picture. By the way, you'd put the whole quote in the comments. Put the name of the book.
I did. It says stop overthinking.
I didn't see it. I missed it. I just saw the quote. But it's so funny that you brought that up, because that's what I'm having one of my clients do today. I said, I want you to make a word salad. You may not even understand what's on that paper. I said, all I want is a word salad. If it's in your head, get it out of your head, put it on the paper, make a word salad. By doing that, it just makes it real, right?
Yeah,
it validates
really
your
does.
feelings, because so many times we don't want to validate how we're feeling. We want to stuffer. We're stuffers, right? Control freak, stuffer. And when we stuff things, it blows these things up into something that's not even realistic. And so the battle in your mind could be a really unrealistic battle. It could be really real.
You know, that's one thing that I find, even for just women in general, that we have a hard time going and accepting a new lifestyle change that's clearly good for you, because we like to have control and we don't trust. So we can. That's the number one thing that would help you with the habits in your life of giving up that control is really hard. But takes time, and you can do it.
It's hard.
Yeah.
I'm still fighting my pastor on that from Sunday. I'm gonna have to go rewatch it. It's like, no, I don't want to give up control. If I give up control, the world's gonna fall apart.
Yeah.
No.
You know, ours was about possessions, having a lot of possessions.
Jeez. Makes you second guess being in that pew on Sunday. It's because he's sneaky. It's going into my emails or something. I'm like, how? So we want to leave you with some encouragement. Go grab those books. Start somewhere. And you know, I've had some clients say, Monica, I'm so busy, I don't have time to read James Clear's book. And what I said was, okay, you have time to read 2 pages of the book. What I do is I look at this book. This is like a 600-page book. Well, I don't have time to read that because I got 10 clients today, but I have time to read 2 pages. That's the 1%. Yeah. So you can apply James's own philosophy of the 1%. I would rather have 2 pages read that are highlighted the heck out of than I've got to get through this chapter and not obtain or retain anything.
There's also audio book. That's how I listen to a lot of mine that are challenging to read, especially the medical books that we read that are not so fun, it's helpful.
As a control freak, I can't highlight and control the pages.
Well, you have to do both.
Yeah.
You have to do both. You have to have the book and audio.
Yeah. That's so true. That is so true.
That's the way my mind works.
I love my highlighters.
Go ahead.
So wrapping all of this up, the journey to lose weight is hard. There is no easy way. Even the shot way is not easy because you're going to have to pick up the mess that Big Pharma's created in your body.
Yeah.
And you're going to have to do the hard things on the front side or the back side. So there is no there's no easy way to lose weight. It took me a year and a half. A year to lose 100 pounds, a year and a half to lose about 120. And my journey is still not over. Did it take you a year to lose?
Approximately, I would say. About 7 to 8 months.
And it also takes another 20 years to maintain. You never reach your destination when you're on this journey. And so the biggest struggles in the mind really, they can take us out. They can literally take us out. And so I want to give you hope that physically, the longer you do the things, the longer you listen to your coach, the longer you stick it out, the easier and the better physically you will feel and the easier it will become. You know, for my addictions clients, it is so hard. When we remove the drug, it is so hard for a while. Darcy is a smidge louder than Monica. Thank you for that feedback.
Because I was closer to the mic.
Can we do some podcasting testing, Vonda? Like when I am 2 or 3 inches away, Darcy, are you 2 or 3 inches away now? Is it?
I'm about this far away.
Okay, so is Darcy okay now?
Shall I talk? I should probably talk. I'm just a louder person in general.
Yeah, we got to calm her down.
God blessed me with a voice that they had to create a compressor on the microphone for my voice. So
yeah. So when I get closer, does that fix things? When I back up, does that
maybe you shouldn't back up?
Maybe I should. Oh, shouldn't.
No, maybe not. You shouldn't. You should be up where.
But I'm not a singer like you, and I'm scared of microphones.
Don't be.
Anyway, replying to Darcy. See, she didn't know the author.
It says stop overthinking. It's right there.
There's no author. They need an author.
Oh, that's important too. It's I'll write it.
I tried. I'm a horrible boss, Fonda. I just can't.
Nick Trenton.
Nick Trenton. Awesome.
Trenton.
So when I work with my addictions clients, the first thing we do is remove the drug. We have to remove the drug first. Every time that client relapses, they go back to day one of the detox, of the symptoms, of the frustration, of the addiction symptoms, all of that. And so what I tell them is the longer the time that they abstain from that drug, the longer the time that you have your new lifestyle in place, the better physically you will feel, the easier it will be. But when you relapse and when you go back to day one. And so by the time you are the same place that Coach Darcy and I are, I was telling a client yesterday, if you put my drug of choice is a Martin's donut, Long John donut, right? If I had that, that's what I'm going to eat on my deathbed. I can no longer have those because I'm a food addict, because it will lead me to a 30-pound sugar binge. And so if you put one of those donuts in front of me today, it would be zero temptation. And I can say that honestly, it would be zero temptation. I could look at that thing and pass it up. You and I, we were at an amazing conference on Friday, right? We walked past some amazing food.
There's a lot.
A lot. One of my struggles on that table was the Garrett's popcorn, because they mixed the caramel and the cheese, and that was a big struggle for me. But it wasn't a struggle because it's been 7 years for me.
Yeah.
When you keep cheating, when you keep going off plan, you start that process over, and it becomes...
you're telling yourself it's okay.
Yeah. So it becomes easier the next time and the next time. So physically, the longer you have between relapses, is what we call in addictions, the easier it is. And so when you are on this journey, if you've just started this journey and you're like, it's not working, the demons in my head, the red dog in my head is just really, really loud. I have FOMO. I have fear of missing out. I have failed in the past over and over. When those things are right there, if you stop and you put the habits in place and you conquer those fears, you conquer those addictions, you conquer those mishaps, the longer space you put in between it, the easier it's going to become.
Yeah.
It really is. We can promise you that. It does get easier. Will I ever be able to have a Martin's donut again? No, I won't. I'm okay with that because I know how I felt when I was 250 pounds. I know how I feel now being free from food addiction. It's not worth it.
Right.
Not one single thing. Darcy, do you have any closing thoughts or statements?
My statement would be, when you get pinned into the corner, there's always a way out. Mm-hmm. But the way out can either be a negative way out or a positive way out. You have to make the decision. Nobody else can make the decision for you. You are your own person.
That's right.
And you don't have to fold under pressure because if it's going to affect you negatively, then, why would you do it?
Yeah. That's true.
So that's all I have. And my last thing is, here's some confetti. Go listen to our podcast. Go share.
Oh my gosh.
I'm pulling this stuff out of my sleeve that I have pulled all off. Just trying to shake it all out.
You're going to be spending the afternoon cleaning.
Go and watch our podcast, or not watch it, listen to it.
Yeah,
Listen
you
to
guys
it.
are the secluded audience that get to see our faces.
I am.
So yeah, it's going to be a good fun. It's called Beyond the Scale, Weight Loss and Wellness. So we keep that whole sentence together because there are a lot of Beyond the Scales out there. And so we are going to be releasing a show every single week. Every Tuesday, we're going to release a brand new show, and we hope that it's helpful. So if you wouldn't mind, share it with your family and friends. Help us get it in the algorithm. And it's so hard. Man, it's hard.
Yeah.
Really hard to launch something new.
Yep.
So
absolutely.
If you have any questions, if you have any show ideas, will you send them to us? Because we can only think of so many things. And so we want to.
We have a list.
We have a list. Yeah. We're going to talk about marriage. That's going to be an intense one. Really.
Do we need to bring our spouses in with this conversation? I mean, it might be something where we could do one with just our opinion, and then we could do another one where they come in and
really cool.
We'll do that. Cool. I feel like we should do that.
I don't know what mine would say though, so I'm a little nervous about that. He could really embarrass me.
Hey, but it's okay. We're going to be okay with that.
Yeah.
Because we're okay with feedback.
It's real. In all honesty, when you lose weight, it impacts your marriage. Yeah. And so there is nothing that Coach and I won't talk about because if we can help somebody through something that we went through, and that's why we're here. That's why we do what we do. And I can tell when we meet with our clients, I can tell when we have reached that point of, okay, this is a marriage issue. And it could be good and it could be bad. It really could be. And for us, it was a wake-up call. It was a real big wake-up call. So we're going to talk about marriage. We're going to talk about this next studio recording. We're going to do the emotional eating addictions. We're going to really tear that apart and work hard on that emotional eating. All right, Coach. We need to hire somebody to come do the electronic technical stuff because
we're looking to hire.
Really nervous. You know what? I'm going to have a big announcement next week. I'm not ready to do it yet, but we're going to have a big announcement next week on something.
Do I need to bring my confetti?
I think you should. I think you should. Right. Because something big just happened to us this week, and we're gonna be in a place of number one, hiring, and number two, really, I'm not even gonna say what it is, but it's good.
No, don't do it. I'll bring my confetti. Maybe.
Bring your confetti.
I'll see how long it takes me to clean this mess up, and then
you might reevaluate. Maybe there's a cleaner confetti. Silly string. No,
I don't think so. I don't think so, Sam.
All right, guys, we will see you every Tuesday morning. Oh, somebody asked us. Somebody asked us, and this was in another comment. Are we going away because we're podcasting now? Are we going away? Our faces
depends on if we get famous in the podcast world.
Yes, we are going away. We're gonna because we'll be coaching from the beach. There won't be video out there, and we'll just have our microphone. No, we're not going away.
Vonda, I like the pom-poms.
Oh, wait, I missed it.
Pom-poms.
Oh,
that's a good one. I'll make some pom-poms.
Make some pom-poms. All right, for our announcement next week. And I don't know if I'm ready to make it next week or not, but we'll try. Well, let me know. I want to make sure some certain things are in order before we do that. So, hey, guys, we will see you next Tuesday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
All right.
Take care.
I need some of that.